Sundae Fantastique.
That's me. Introducing my friend Emily. We're gonna talk a bit about community. Alors, non, mademoiselle Beiju, on va chanter, comprenez-vous? Of course we got Carter and the whipped creams, and that's what makes a Sunday fantastic.
Hey, Sunday.
Hey, Carter.
Hey.
Yeah. What's up with your hair?
What do
Come
you
here.
do?
I'm gonna fix it
it's
for you.
It's just how my hair lays under hats. Hold
Yeah,
on.
it's
What
not
are you doing?
gonna-
What are you doing?
I'm fixing your hair.
Stop.
What? What's the problem?
It's it's like a thing. Like you're not supposed to touch black people's hair. It's just kind of like a
Oh shit.
it's a lot of history behind it, really.
Sorry.
You understand or?
I mean,
What?
I can follow rules, but like,
Well,
if
here-
you feel like educating me, I am willing to be educated.
I'll tell you. Let me tell you how I feel.
Okay.
Through song. It's weird you wanna touch my hair. I say this cause you say you care. I'm feeling like a traitor to my race. So when your hands is all up in my face, I'm not a human petting zoo. These naps are not a toy for you. Oh no, no. You never seem to notice the admonishing stares from the black folk when you touch my hair. Woo!
I'd like to welcome Emily Gallagher to the Sundae Fantastique Show. She's a brilliant community organizer and has the distinction of being the only human that I personally know who has ever run for office.
Thank you. Very happy to be here. Honored, really.
I'm honored. Stop. Okay, so where should we start? Perhaps with the run for office, because that generated some press and that was pretty exciting.
Sure. So I ran for office in 2016. I ran for the most local level office. I like to call it the basement punk show of politics. It's called district leader. Every community has one in their assembly district. And in fact, in Brooklyn, because of an antiquated system, there's two. There's a male and a female for each. And I know that that's like now seen as crazy,
Right.
But it was actually put in that way to make sure that there was female representation. And I really got involved because I've been doing community organizing in North Brooklyn for the last 10 years. And one of the things that I really noticed was that a lot of the decisions that everyone had opinions on were being made very, not privately, but without a lot of attention by politicians and by local level politicians. And district leaders choose who the judges will be for an area. And as we know,
That's huge.
It's an enormous responsibility. And often when you get to these super local levels of politics, you get into this realm where people aren't paying a lot of attention. And that means that it's not always people who are thinking about the direct effect on the community, or maybe even people who have been participating in the community that actively who are in these roles. So I was inspired to run by the New Kings Democrats, which is a organizing group that's trying to get more grassroots progressives in office.
Okay. And when I met you, you were with NAG.
Mhm.
Are you still working with them?
I am still working with NAG.
Can you recall the acronym for me?
Sure. So it's Neighbors Allied for Good Growth now. It used to be Neighbors Against Garbage. It was started in 1994 because in the 90s, the waterfront of Williamsburg, and it's hard for many people to imagine this now, the waterfront of Williamsburg and Greenpoint was all trash dumps, and it was actually many of them illegal and run by the mob. And so this organization was founded by local residents and artists, as a matter of fact, to clean up the waterfront. So we continue to do a lot of environmental organizing, especially around issues that impact the health of the community. And many people who live in Greenpoint and Williamsburg do have long-term health impacts from lead, from phthalates that are in the soil, from, of course, Superfund sites like Newtown Creek. There's actually many, many environmental hazards that for many years were considered environmental justice issues because they were particularly affecting working class people in those neighborhoods because of the factories that had been there. Right. So we're still organizing around that because those are still there. And just because a neighborhood is gentrifying doesn't mean that the underlying problems have been resolved or even really cleaned up to the level that they should be.
So what I really want to know is, like, I think about doing things like running for office and getting more involved, but then I think about like the 90s and the early 2000s, most of which I was blacked out for, and like when I say I think about it, I assume it existed.
Right.
So as somebody with a track record like that, how is it possible for me to impact the future? Like, you see people just getting dragged through the mud when they get involved in politics.
Right. I think what really matters most is the experiences that you've had that are attached to the issues that you care about. And I think that actually imperfect people should run for office. We're the ones who have lived. We're the ones who, yeah, exactly. And as a matter of fact, most of the people who get into power, it seems, in my observation, get into power because of some kind of privilege that they have, not because they were perfect people or continue to be perfect people.
I mean, Barack Obama, he did blow.
Yeah. You know,
he became the president,
and he served 2 terms, and that's not all.
No, it's not.
Admitted to using both cocaine and marijuana before entering politics. He then served as two terms as President of the United States of America.
And if you think that's bad, listen to what all these bitch-ass politicians got away with.
Christopher Lee, a former representative of New York's 26th Congressional District, responded to a women-seeking men ad in Maryland. The exchange included unimpressive topless photos, lies about his age, location, marital status, and profession. Catfishing at its fishiest. Dennis Hastert, the former Speaker of the House, was arrested in 2016 for illegally structuring to remove large sums of cash from a bank account. What were these funds for? To pay the sexual abuse victims that he abused during his time as a high school wrestling coach. Are you as bad as that guy? I doubt it. When you're feeling hopeless, like you got nowhere to go, remember President Obama, cop to hose and glow.
What, you think that's bad? You think that's all we got for you? Check these motherfuckers out.
Steve Katz, ticketed for possession of marijuana shortly after voting against the medical marijuana bill in New York State. He was only charged with possession and speeding, even though there was evidence of DUI. Trey Radel, this vocal supporter of drug testing for welfare recipients, was recently caught and arrested for trying to buy 3.5 grams of cocaine from a federal officer undercover. David Vitter, this U.S. Senator's number was one of many in a prostitution ring's phone book. He's a hater of same-sex marriage, legal gambling, and, of course, abortion. And Robert Shortley, this married Christian dad and an Oklahoma State senator, was just arrested for having sex with a minor who is a prostitute, having a prostitution situation close to a church, and all that other stuff. He's a vocal proponent of anti-LGBTQ laws, including the bathroom bill. When you're feeling hopeless, like you got nowhere to go, remember President Obama, cop to hose and blow.
Hey, you. Yeah, you orange piece of shit. You think we forgot about your poofy pancake ass? Oh, you're sadly mistaken.
The current President of the United States of America has been accused of sexual assault by multiple women, reigned over a Ponzi scheme, hasn't released his tax returns, ran several businesses into the ground, and bragged about all of it. The USA is truly a place where anyone,
Rich, white, successful, privileged, and soulless,
can accomplish their dreams.
when you're feeling hopeless, like you got nowhere to go. Remember President Obama, come through hose and
Field trip.
I'm out here with the Sundae Fantastique Street Team. Say your name for the record.
Kenton.
Kelly. Tatenda.
My name is John Barclay. I'm with the Dance Liberation Network. We are out here in collaboration with the House Coalition Float. These guys have been fighting the cabaret law for at least 11 years. The dance parade was originally founded in opposition to the cabaret, the New York City cabaret no dancing law. And yes, we are activists fighting it as well.
Hi, I'm Julia Fredenberg with the New York City Artists Coalition, and we're out here to work to repeal the cabaret law.
I'm Jamie Burkhardt with the NYC Artists Coalition. The cabaret law, a lot of people don't know, is a law that says you can't dance in New York City. It was created in 1926 to control jazz clubs. It was used by Giuliani to shut down gay bars. And right now there's no place legal to dance in Bed-Stuy or El Barrio. So we are taking to the streets with 10,000 dancers in New York to unite New York City's dance cultures to repeal the cabaret law.
Hi, I'm Olympia Kazi. I'm also with the New York City Artists Coalition, and we really need to get rid of the cabaret law. It's horrible. It has a racist history, but to this day, it is used all over the city. We have over 25,000 venues, and guess how many legal of them with a cabaret license? Less than 100. So that's unreasonable. We want to dance. Are you ready? Are you ready? The city should be doing everything to foster creativity, not hinder it. So we're here to repeal the cabaret law, get rid of it, because it's something that only hurts creativity.
It's like an old, very racist-ass law.
There's there's something we can do about it. Councilmember Rafael Espinal is introducing a bill to repeal the cabaret law. But in order to pass it, we need the majority of neighborhoods and city council to have their city council member vote to repeal it.
And for those who think dancing is not important, you should know this law still to this day is used to discriminate. So we really need to repeal it because it doesn't make sense. No matter what is your sexual orientation, your skin color, or what kind of music you like, it shouldn't be that classical is okay, but hip hop, wow, it's scary.
I mean, we're here marching in the dance parade to fight for everybody's right to dance. It should be a universal right. There shouldn't be any legislation that prevents us from doing so. It's a form of expression.
Hello, I'd like to welcome Caitlin Seeger, aka Beiju, to the Sundae Fantastique Show. Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for showing up. I look forward to seeing you play. Caitlin is a Franco-New Yorker who's lived here about, 7 years?
About 7 years, yeah. Moved here 2010.
How did we meet, at a party or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, mutual friends.
It's the Sundae Fantastique life. So we were talking briefly earlier about how your transition to New York was as a French person, and what were your main shocks coming, because you came from Paris, right? Mm-hmm. What were your main shocks coming from Paris to New York, you think?
So it was really about the interaction between people. I think that was very different because culturally it's not that different. Any city is in a way similar. I don't, if you come from London or Paris or New York, you're not going to be lost, Mm-hmm. It's pretty much the same, but there's a big difference in relationships and how people interact with each other. And I think that I was really lost at first to understand the codes, the social codes mm-hmm. here. In France, it takes a really long time to meet a person. But once you meet someone and once you are actually friends with someone, it's very deep and very meaningful. It's almost like a family bond. Whereas here, I had people that just met me at a bar and just jumped on me, texted me right away, you're my best friend, I love you, oh my God, let's meet up, let's hang out. It was super overwhelming for me, and I was scared too. What does she want? Why?
We can be a bit much.
Yeah, and I didn't understand that. It took me a while, but also just even the topics conversation. In France we love to talk about sex and we love to talk about politics, and that's two things.
And religion too.
And religion too. Yeah. These are our favorite topics, and it's really not a good look when you don't know someone and you're so what do you think about immigration? Do
you believe in God?
Yeah, exactly. It's really weird. It's different. Even also sense of humor, I think. French people are very sarcastic, and I think I came out like a bitch a lot, at first, and I didn't realize it. I thought it was funny, and it was just she's so rude. So yeah,
it happens.
Whatever.
I guess just last wrapping up, you were talking about, and this is something that's been on my mind because I'm learning French and I'm always sounding like an asshole in France, and I'm wondering what your experience has been here with people and their patience with. Your English is perfect to me, but.
Thank you. I worked hard on it. No, seriously.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's super hard.
Yeah. Well, it depends. There are people that are very understanding, and I've had the chance to meet people that helped me too, And I remember going to school and just I had friends that just proofread everything and helped me or corrected my English in a very nice way, not in a mean way, but helped me kind of figure it out, or whenever I was saying something wrong, oh, I understand what you're trying to say, but that's the wrong expression or something. Right. Then I've had also assholes that were really impatient. Have had actually a Yelp review once as a waitress where the person said, the food is delicious, but the waitress doesn't speak English. And like, I was like 18 and I was like so scared of getting fired. And same thing, you know, like I get to the restaurant and I didn't know if it was about me or the other waitress because she was Russian too, and both of us were just like, what's going on? So, but we got there as a like solidarity. We just like both like went to work together, and like my boss was like just like really nice. He like apologized on behalf of the people like who wrote this, and he was like, I'm so sorry. That was like extremely rude. But yeah, I actually do meet people that are sometimes very impatient and frustrated about my English and the way I express myself, and have told me to kind of go read books and come back with fancier words.
Well, I'm very excited to see you play today.
Thank you. I'm excited to perform.
Thanks so much for coming on the Sundae Fantastique Show. And Beiju, everybody. Thanks a bunch.
Crystals, invisible wire, condensing and bursting in eternal circle. Each time shaping new clouds. New drawing of the sky. Lines forever spinning. And my body screaming, I wanna
show. Thank you.